Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Overtime with Jose and Chris. I'm Jose.
And I'm Chris.
There's Chris. How's it going, buddy?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Not too bad. It's just been a hectic week, like we said before we started. It's been crazy. It's
it's that time of the semester when everything's due. We got our final exams plus all our final projects and assignments, and everything just likes to come in at once.
Yeah, I know. For us, like final projects are all in this week or last week. Everything's after tomorrow. We'll be fine. But not only have we been busy, but the world of sports has been busy, hasn't it, Chris?
Absolutely. There's been a lot of things going on, from the Jays, their home opener, all the way to the Leafs, and then just a few other random topics that we're going to touch upon later.
Exactly. And now, so the Jays, Leafs, and anything random that could come to mind. Let me tell you, I did go to the game Friday night.
Awesome.
Unbelievable.
How was it?
It was good. They might have lost, but
against Boston, right?
It was against Boston.
Okay.
They might have lost, but the atmosphere was insane. Jose Reyes hit his first home run as a Blue Jay.
Nice.
So we're all screaming like no tomorrow. They might have lost 4-2. Farrell came back. We were booing and booing and booing.
And how was the audience? Was there a lot of people?
It was a full house. 42,000 filled that day.
Oh,
42,000 filled at the Rogers Center today. It was
beautiful.
It was an insane crowd. It felt great to be back. Let me see if I can pull something up here. Let me see. Let me see if I can, because I did record Farrell. Sorry, guys. Give me one second. You
guys hear that? Wow. That's awesome. Atmosphere at the Rogers Center.
That was best. That was like right when Farrell's name was introduced with the lineup card. Actually, they introduced the team before these, and I'm telling you, the reception was just ugly. At least for him, and then this started.
Just awesome.
They were just trolling me. I think at one point they were saying "Screw you, Farrell," "F you, Farrell." Actually, throughout the entire thing, they got ugly. They might have won at the end of the day, but oh my gosh! But it was
nobody wants to walk into that kind of.
No,
it
was not a great response for Farrell, not at all. But again, he's doing good in Boston. He's leading the division all of a sudden, so he's probably laughing right now. But
see, it's funny. I don't think anybody really expected the Jays to get off to the start that they did, especially losing their home opener with Dickey on.
Exactly.
On the mound.
He was even surprised. I remember the sixth inning. He lets a knuckleball go, and he was surprised himself that it was a home run. I was surprised myself.
Yeah.
Like I said, we recorded like an in-person kind of thing of Overtime. We'll try to get up on YouTube as soon as we can. But anyways, we got home that day. I know I got home and I saw that, and it was like, oh,
I watched
boy.
it too.
It was not a good start. And then, of course, Dickey yesterday, 5 hits, 5 runs within the first inning, and he got pulled out of the fifth.
This isn't the kind of Cy Young winner I really want to be on the mound going from that to this. It's basically whenever I don't understand. Is it when we pick up these great players, we bring them to Toronto, there's just some sort of downfall with them, but then as soon as they leave Toronto, it's they spread their wings and fly.
It's happening. But
what is it?
I think it's one thing to keep up in mind. And this was bothering me because I have a lot of people coming up to me, and I had people, the Jays suck, they're worthless, they don't even deserve to get the hype. I've got that on Twitter, and I just want to go up to and say, but look, it's literally the first 6 games of the season.
Yeah, it's way too early to judge. You still have another 158 games left.
Somebody could suck in the first month yet come out of nowhere in September, right? I think if somebody wants to judge it, come up to me at least. You gotta wait till June because it's a slow start. You gotta wait for pitchers to settle in.
Oh yeah.
Dickey, Johnson. I saw Johnson on Friday. Burley, they're all struggling. They're all getting in there, right?
Yeah.
J.A. Happ did phenomenal on Saturday. Amazing job by the pitcher, And like I said, it's a slow start, so they gotta be patient.
But with all these trades and then in the off season and everything, it's you got to give them a little bit the first half of the season kind of thing to actually just gel and finally get to play with one another and just see how they can form and get their batting right and just get the pitching the rotation all in.
You gotta give a little bit. And it's Jose Reyes. He started off a bit slow. So the home run on Friday, it was a relief. It was a big relief, and then Melky with a triple right after. It was a huge relief to see that. So again, it's a slow start, guys. For the people that are haters, for the people that are judging, give it some time. Right? That's all I'm gonna say. If by June you see the same results, then come up to me. But for now, take it easy, guys.
Absolutely. Basically what I was saying even before the season started, I was just talking about how are they actually going to make the playoffs? Yeah, I think they have a good chance of making that run, like for the playoffs. As to how far they make it in the playoffs, if they do, that's a different story. But then a lot of people are just saying, "Oh, well, you know what? This is the Jays' year. They're gonna win like the World Series." I'm like, no. I'm like, I love the Jays too. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's just not World Series yet.
Yeah, exactly.
They're too new of a team. They still need to start to gel a little bit. As you can see with everybody that we have, we start the season 2-4. That's nothing special, but I know it is the beginning of the season. But it's like, it's not showing much.
Exactly. For example, last year San Francisco Giants, they started the season 2-4, and they end up with the ring. They end up sweeping the Tigers in the World Series. So, anything can happen. I mean, I'm sure Giants fans last year said the same thing. Not saying that we're going to be the same thing. Of course not. I mean, anything can happen. But, it's just a thought. I mean, it just to show you that with this sport, and especially with baseball, with 162 games, anything can happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Anything can literally happen. I mean, for example, with the Blue Jays came in 77, for example, they didn't take them till 85. I mean, you're not going to expect quick results right away.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta start slow, and I think that's something that you're going to see as time goes by. You're going to see the pitchers getting used to the field. They're going to get used to the mound. They're going to get used to anything as much as they could. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll give them another month or two and see how they do.
Yeah, give them a couple months.
And if they're still hovering around 500 kind of thing, or even below,
it's one to get worried about.
Then it's what's gonna happen?
Oh yeah.
Who's gonna be getting fired? Who's gonna be getting dropped? Who's gonna be getting traded?
Exactly. I mean, and
we got a lot of money in invested. And it's nobody wants to see this money just go into the ground.
Exactly. So, I mean, you got to give them time. I mean, things don't happen right away. I mean, you got to...
Absolutely not.
You got to start slow with that. I mean... And
it's all about timing too, right? So...
But at least they're back. And again, like I said many times, it's a huge reception that they got so far. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, the crowds have been filling up 3 sold-out games already out of the 6.
And which is huge.
It's a good...
We haven't seen that for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, even in 2012 last year... these crowds hasn't been that big, right? I mean, it might have been because Farrell returned, but the support is still there regardless. So give it some time, guys.
Even last year, the only time that I'd ever see the Jays even kind of packed is when I'd go see a Boston or a Yankees game.
Yep.
And even still, in attendance, there's only maybe 10 to 15,000, which is nothing.
Well, I mean, I went to the Yankees game last year. In May, and that was about 25,000, 30. That was a decent amount. Not a full house, but it was a good amount.
Of course.
Boston, the one that I went to, was a home opener, of course.
Yeah.
And then any other game after that, I mean, it did die down a little
bit.
But
that's the kind of attendance that we want to see on a weekly basis, no matter what the team is. And with the roster that we have now, I think we're going to get a chance to see that, and kind of Toronto's teams will start to turn around.
Oh yeah, I mean it's phenomenal support. I mean, it's unbelievable. I've never been happier. I mean, if it was up to me, I could go every day.
Yeah.
But of course,
that's also something that the players will also feed off of. When the players come and they see it's a full stadium, a full crowd, and we're here to support. Man, that's just the feeling of no other. It's really you can't even put it into words.
And what's unbelievable, I mean, this is what's surprising the most, and they don't fill up. I mean, Jay's tickets is the 500s, right? The cheapest they can get on a regular day.
You
it's
can
$10.
pay $10 and go to
on a premium day. It's just $2 more, $12. I mean, for field line bases. I mean, this is pretty up close. I'm saying close to field. It's about $50. $50 at a Leafs game gets you in the rafters. I mean, if that
even. I think there's $60 for standing tickets.
Yeah, exactly. Even standing.
So you're all the way at the top, and you're just standing. You don't even have a seat.
I mean, it's not that I don't want to go see the Leafs, but it's just the prices are so expensive. I could go about 5 Jays games in good seats than at one Leafs. I mean, so the prices aren't that bad. So for people not to go, it's a little bit surprising. But I mean, there's 60,000. It can fill up. There's always seats available. And they're at really good prices.
And especially on Tuesdays, right? They still have that special. I remember
that was a long time ago.
Oh, okay. They don't have it anymore?
No, I don't think so. I haven't been to a Tuesday game actually in a while. So.
Oh, okay. But even when that was going on, I was still surprised that there wasn't as many people there, because exactly what you said.
I mean, although they might not be doing good, I mean, it's still a great experience at a baseball game in general.
Oh. I just love going to different stadiums, watching games. It's just awesome. The atmosphere is awesome.
I went to 7 last year. This is my first one of many this year. I mean, again, they know how to bring you up. It's just so exciting. I mean, some of the fans can be funny as heck. I mean,
oh yeah.
On Friday, somebody from the 500 was throwing paper airplanes down to the field, and we were just laughing. What? We're just laughing this entire time. I'm telling you, I mean, it's a fun experience. They know how to get the crowd going. So
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I know personally, I wouldn't mind to see a lot. I mean, Jays colors right now, actually.
I see that. You got the Jays cap going. You got the Jays jersey on. I'm loving it.
Exactly. Thank you, Chris. I mean, it's a start. I mean, in conclusion, give it some time. And of course, when it comes with time and patience, of course, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's another. Those two go hand in hand, don't you think?
Absolutely, I think so.
But I mean, Saturday's big win against New Jersey. I saw the last period of it. They thankfully Boza stepped up and got that clinching goal.
Yeah, we almost blew it there. It was a pretty close one.
Yeah, I know. Saw the Devils goal, and I'm just like, oh boy, not again, right?
But what's really good with that is, it bumped us up into 5th. So we're sitting pretty. I'm not really too worried. We only have 10 games left, I believe now.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as we can just win half of those, or at least win, or at least push games into overtime if we're losing, kind of thing, and just always getting points.
It's like we said it the last time we saw each other. I mean, they're pushing up the points. They're racking it up.
Yeah.
They're it's so close. About 10 games to go, like we said. It is freaking close. It is unbelievably close.
And even still, I believe I think we're 9 points at least, or 10 points at least out of 8th place. So we got to go on a pretty good slump in order to get.
And what they're playing right now, with Boza stepping up, with everybody, and apart from Boza, but the goalies as well. Reimer's stepping up as well. That's
what we need. That's what we need, because especially every time he's had a injury, he's always come back a little shaky. But he's finally getting his rhythm back, which is perfect, because we need that heading into playoffs. And also Lupul, I know he got injured a few games ago. He got sandwiched. I think that was a little bit of a dirty hit.
Oh yeah.
But at the end of the day, there is no call. There's not much that you can really do about it.
And then going back to the goalies, Chris, I mean, when we said with our first overtime episode before the audio got messed up, I mean, we did say, goalies need to step up. I mean, we had all these goalies in the past. They sucked.
Yeah.
And now we have Reimers and Scrivens, and surprisingly, our predictions actually somewhat came true because, they're getting up there.
Yeah, they are.
Not saying we're we can predict the future, but we kind of did say it. Just we have no audio proof of it anymore. So,
but basically, what it was, and I say over and over again, the biggest thing with the Leafs, as you can see, is the goaltending. I'm not putting the sole blame on the tenders, but basically, you can see the Leafs aren't really having a problem with scoring, right? So we can come back from a 2-0 deficit, tie it up, or even get that third goal already, and now we're leading. So scoring hasn't really been a big thing for us, but it's more of just holding that lead. So between our defensive play and our goal our goaltending, that's basically what I feel the problem is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and it always has been.
I mean, yeah, and with the games so close, I mean, personally, like I said, I'll repeat it again. It looks like they're heading to the playoffs after an 8-year absence. It looks like that. Hopefully nothing bad happens, knock on wood, but they're there. They're on pace, so I don't see anything wrong with that. And I mean,
no. If anything, all this city's going to do is just go crazy.
I mean, even with the playoff berth alone, right? I mean, I don't even remember the play. I mean, I used to be a Leafs fan when I was younger. I just slowly got back into it, but I mean, I don't really remember a playoff run. I mean, you might be a little bit old enough to know.
I do remember a little bit, but it's I was also young too, and it's
I must have been 8, 9 when they last. Now I'm 19. Well, it could have been 10 years, but it's
definitely a while. I was probably around. I think I was maybe 15, kind of thing. The last time the Leafs.
I was definitely a little bit younger. I would say about 11 or 12. I know it was young. So just as a heads up, and wow, the last time we saw this, Winnipeg had a comfortable 3rd place lead. They are actually out of the entire
now Washington
running.
Is in there, right?
It's Washington.
Yeah, and, Washington.
And right now, if the playoffs were to end today, we are actually set to face Boston, and that's
and that's a no-no for us.
I do not mind losing. Don't mind losing a couple games here because you know how Boston's strong with the Toronto. They treat him around like a little plush doll, throwing it up and down a wall.
I don't know what it is, but Boston just has our number. But then again, you never know. Maybe in the playoffs, who knows? We could come in and sweep, Boston. So, but preferably, I wouldn't want to face Boston. I'd take any other team.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter who. Montreal, I would take. It doesn't matter.
Of course, of course, what hockey story isn't great without a challenge, right? I mean, why wouldn't you want to see a challenge? So, if Toronto can, if that does happen, obviously Toronto has to get in there and be like, okay, guys, we're facing a team that knows us, that has our number. This is a time to step up and prove to everybody that we can do this. And I have friends in Boston. I get laughed at all the time from the people in Boston. They'll come up to me like, oh, how are your Leafs doing? Or thank God for this. I'm like, oh my God, not today, guys. Right? So it'd be nice if the Leafs can finally prove a point and say, you know what, we are here for a reason. We're not a fluke. We want to get far. Even if it's not a Stanley Cup win, I'm assuming that the Leafs want to prove that they can take Boston on.
If we do end up facing Boston in the playoffs in like the first round, and if we do beat them, then I'll tell you one thing. The Leafs are going to make a deep run.
Oh, yeah.
Plain and simple. If they can get through Boston, which is one of the hardest teams that they have problems with, if not the hardest team, then they can get over any other team.
Actually, I actually thought of a little game here. Actually, we never really had segments. So right now, Chris, you have the 8 teams here: Pittsburgh, Montreal, Washington, Boston, Toronto, Ottawa, the Rangers, and the Islanders.
Yep.
So if the playoffs were to start today, it would be the Islanders and Pittsburgh. It'd be the Rangers and Montreal. It'd be Ottawa and Washington, and then Boston, Toronto. From those matchups, who would you think would win there? Let's start off with Pittsburgh and the Islanders.
Pittsburgh and the Islanders. Just gonna go in with the favorite on that one. I just don't really see a upside with there, so I'm gonna have to go with Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
I don't think Islanders have the goaltending or the firepower to get by Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean Pittsburgh is so strong. Like I said, we brought up again the last time, so that's one to bring. Montreal and Rangers.
See, now that one
boy,
really is anyone's game, kind of thing. I can see that going to a Game 7. However, I think, it's really tough
I feel like that could happen, though. That does look like a probable matchup when April comes. I mean, we're at the end of April.
I would say that's a Game 7 matchup.
Oh, yeah.
Easily. But, once again, if Nash is on fire, then, he's going to be a really hard player to stop. And Lundqvist in net, if he plays the way that he can, then he's also going to be a tough guy to to get pucks by. But then again, every time in playoffs, he always seems to kind of choke, and the Rangers just always lose it in the first round. They never really make it past.
And Montreal, of course, as well. Last year with some heartbreaking losses in the playoffs, and why wouldn't they want a playoff run? I mean, personally, for me, I think I would pick Montreal over the Rangers because Montreal looked like a team that could, pull through at the end of it all. I mean, they got the offense, they got the defense. They're moving up there, and they're second for a reason. They're leading the division for a reason. So I feel like they could conquer New York.
I think so too, but I would have to say, if I have to choose a winner, I'd go with the Rangers.
Rangers, okay. Ottawa and Washington, the Capitals and Senators. So surprisingly, the Senators doing a lot better than last year. I mean, they're sitting in a comfortable place compared to last year. Last year they were in 8th. They faced the Rangers and lost in Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Game 7. Yeah, a heartbreaking Game 7. I know personally as a Canadian I would have wanted them to win. But now you're facing somebody who had another heartbreak loss against Boston.
Yes.
No, wait. I could be wrong here. Did they beat Boston last year?
Boston? No, it was Pittsburgh, no?
I can't remember, but
that's okay.
We'll get back to you on that, but keep going, Chris.
With that, I'm going to go easily. I'm going to say Washington. The way that Ovechkin is starting to play now, he caught Stamkos last night. He scored 2 games. He scored 2 goals in last night's game. So he has 25 goals on the season, which is tied for first and with Stamkos. So the way that Ovechkin's playing, it's going to be really hard for any team to stop him.
Now, to go back on the point before we go on, the Washington did beat Boston. They did upset Boston. Now I remember that very well. And then they went on to lose to New York.
New York, oh wow.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that. I mean, Washington just coming up strong, and they're not just another team that's been craving for a Stanley Cup as well. It's one of the teams that you say, when are they going to get it?
So I'll take Washington over them.
Washington. And last but not least, I mean, of course, the one thing that we don't want to see, Boston and Toronto.
Yeah,
do you go with the home passion, or do you go with the realistic here?
Exactly. It's very easy to say the Leafs because I'm a Leafs fan. But
diehard Leafs fan.
It's very easy to say Boston because no matter what you look at stats, however way you want to put it, Boston just has our number. But do I feel that it is possible? I think it is. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. It's not going to be easy.
No, it's not.
Probably going to go to a Game 7, Game 6, that kind of thing.
I say Game 6, Game 5 or 6.
There's no way, either team. I feel no matter what, there's not going to be a sweep. Because playoff hockey is just anybody's hockey.
Yeah,
it's a completely different game.
7 games each series.
The momentum can switch at any given moment. And we've seen so many different kinds of stories where, the 8th place seed, for example, the LA Kings last year. Nobody ever expected them to win the Stanley Cup. They finished 8th. Nobody would have thought that Jonathan Quick would have played as great as he did, plus everybody else on the Kings stepping up.
Oh, yeah, I was going for the Kings.
Richards, Carter, Dustin Brown, Kopitar. It's like everybody was doing their part, and it just worked out perfectly.
I agree. So, sorry, in conclusion, you were saying you're going to say Toronto.
I don't, it's just too hard for me to say Boston.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But I wouldn't be shocked if Boston wins. You know what I mean? Like I can't, I wouldn't be crying, but I always have to go with my Leafs. I have a hard time betting against them.
I mean, for me, if if that does happen, right, and if they do lose to Boston, for me, I'd be like, you know what, kind of expected, but at the same time, though, they made it.
Yeah,
they finally made it past the playoffs, and that's the optimism is going to be there for next year.
And no matter what, even if they do face Boston in the playoffs, I'll just be very happy and just proud that they finally got that monkey off of their back and just got into the playoffs again. And this is how they're going to be playing, and especially it would be a different story if Lupul has been healthy for the whole season. Now that's one key player that we've had ups and downs with. It's an unfortunate thing, but you can see he doesn't really get a chance to play, a full season. He's always injured, and this is his third time that he's been out this season. And it's just it's heartbreaking to see because every time he comes back, you just see him. And the other time he had 4 games, and he comes in and boom, he just got 4 goals, 5 assists, kind of thing, and he just had 9 points in 4 games that he came back.
I agree. Well, now that that's out of the way, we did talk about random stuff. I mean, literally, you when it comes to random sports, there's so much out there to talk about.
Yeah.
You can go from basketball to cricket to I'm trying to log in here for something and so on. But I think at this point, I actually didn't tell you this, but I did make a Twitter account for our place. Nice. We made a Twitter account only because I haven't used it yet because again, there's been the difficulties in trying to get everything settled in.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice if you guys can tweet at us at Overtime WJC. That stands for with Jose and Chris. Overtime WJC, and tweet us. Your opinions of the whole thing so far. What do you want us to talk about? Actually, if there's anything that comes to mind,
or if you have any questions that we can answer for you,
exactly.
Or if you want us to go over anything, or if you hear us, say something, don't be afraid to have an opinion. Be like, well, you know what, I don't agree with this or that, because we're this is a discussion panel. We're we're up to cover any topics, and we want to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about too, right?
Exactly. I think this is great, for us to get out there and interact. We haven't really done it yet because, like I said, assignments have been coming in, and we're trying to figure out, okay, is this going to record? Is this good? Is this not? So I think it's nice. Again, at Overtime with WJC. Of course, I have my own personal Twitter account, Tabuada93. That's TABOADA 93. If you're interested in tweeting at us, I wouldn't hurt at all. I'm trying to get logged into here.
And me myself personally, I don't have a personal Twitter account or Facebook or Instagram or Tumblr or any of that stuff, which is funny because I'm a communications and media major as of right now. But
yeah, we had entire lectures on social media. But is there any is there any random topic that comes to mind when it comes to this? Is there anything that stands out?
To me, badminton.
Really?
I don't know why, but I was at my athletic banquet on Wednesday, and they're just giving out all the awards and just all that stuff for all the different athletes and teams and everything. And surprisingly, the badminton team had a lot of awards, and I was just very dumbfounded. Kind of, I'm like, badminton. I'm like, I didn't even know that it was this big.
Oh, I remember in high school just playing with badminton.
It was fun. Don't get me wrong. I loved it. I just didn't realize that it was a varsity team kind of deal.
Yeah, I know. I remember in high school, some guys would be really aggressive with that. Sure, it's a little birdie, but if that's coming at you,
it can definitely sting a bit.
That sting. Of course, me being the test dummy all the time. Just throwing at him. It's okay, guys, all right, calm down. Really, badminton. Oh man, I think I remember I remember some people talking about it in school. That often. I don't even know. Does Centennial have a badminton team?
What, my high school?
No, Centennial, our college itself.
Oh yeah, they do.
Do they really?
Yeah, that's what I was saying at the athletic banquet. The badminton team was given a bunch of awards. That's why I was like, whoa, what? Badminton? Where'd they come from?
Yeah, I know we're sports, but I know we haven't got a chance to really explore something that's at Centennial, right? there's so much out there offered within the college. I mean,
absolutely, and people just don't really know about it. That's one thing. Our website isn't the best for like sports or to like navigate around and find the sports.
Yeah, it is a little tricky. I mean, and especially if you're here at the CCC, like us, right? I mean,
it's really hard to find out. It's tough.
It's not just tough to find out, but I mean, like, there's not really any sports connection because everybody's involved with like the media, or the editing or the filming, right? So it's
and at our campus we also don't have a gym, so we don't really have an athletic section. So basically, where like all the other campuses have a gym, they have like a athletic center, but like here we don't. So we have to do, like we still get a free membership at a gym that's like around the corner, like from here, but just in the sense that we don't have a athletic center is kind of crappy in like my opinion.
Yeah.
But our campus also is really small, so I don't know where they would put it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like we're still getting used to this as well, and it's tough. I mean, at first I'm like, okay, where's something? It's a little difficult. By the way, I just found the Twitter account. Yes, I finally logged in. Yes, at Overtime at Overtime WJC. Hopefully, you guys can tweet at us. Hopefully, we'll see if we can like get this uploaded soon. Because again, we're still learning little by little. I mean,
absolutely.
It's like we have this nice, beautiful sound system here, and yet
we still don't know how to use it quite yet.
We're still looking. I mean, like I know I have another radio showing as well with 2 other people that replaced you last week. They started to pick up on it as well, and they're just as confused as well. So hopefully tomorrow I'll see how that goes with them. But I mean, Chris, you just showed me the time. We're running out of time, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Only have like a minute or 2 left.
So again, I'm gonna emphasize this so much because I really love social media. Tweet us at Overtime with WJC, and we don't have any.
Do it up, guys.
We don't have any tweets. I'll see if I can upload this podcast. I mean, I know it's gonna be available through Centennial's website the minute we figure it out, and also I'll try to see if I can get it up here too. So, for Chris, thank you so much again, buddy.
Jose, thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Like I said, my name's Jose. This is Overtime with Jose and Chris. We will see you next week.
Have a good one, guys.
See ya.